Hey guys, welcome back to whatever this is, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about the 20th anniversary of the Game Boy Advance. So, the Game Boy Advance is easily one of my favorite systems, as I've been kind of collecting for it since everybody else stopped caring about it. And for me, unfortunately, my current Game Boy that I have sent it out for some modifications, so at the time of this shooting I currently don't have it, but one day I will. It will come back to me, and you'll see it in a future video at some point. But at this time I do have the little Game Boy Micro. This console, not this one, came out 20 years ago in its original shape that's similar to this one, and it was a great little system. The back screen sucked. It didn't light particularly well. It was really dark. I did enjoy the system, and I put a lot of hours into it. And it wasn't until it's, the one everyone thinks of with the Game Boy, the clamshell design of the Game Boy Advance SP came out. That was when things got buck wild on that console. That is when lighting stopped being an issue, and you could really enjoy what games were being produced for it. It was a really cool little system, as everyone just saw it as, hey, it's just a Super Nintendo, but portable. I mean, kind of, but not really, but yes. And I'm 1000% okay with that, as this little console had so many great little games for it that I don't think would have existed anywhere else but on this unit. And I know people make the argument that the console of the Game Boy Advance didn't have its own identity, where I think it did. I just think underneath the ports is sometimes where you had to look. But some of these games were complete rebuilds of old games that got ported to the Game Boy Advance. And I loved it for that, as in some aspects it really did improve and give quality of life changes to those games that really needed them. And that was really, really unique. So I just decided I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm going to talk about just the top 6 games that I would say anybody should recommend checking out if you are interested in the Game Boy Advance. And this was a console for me that got me through my high school days. There was constant people I would be talking to, and in the back of class they'd just be like, yeah, no, I'm stuck at this part, do you know what to do? Like, constantly with one out. It was a really weird time. It was really cool. I loved it, but also, again, there weren't as many people carrying around the Game Boys as much, but, like, it was kind of funny finding out how many people would also just, like, hide in the back of class, because there's a lot of times that I remember just how popular this thing was, and how many people actually had one, but everyone ignored it at the same time. It was a weird time. But I loved it. I didn't care who knew it, so I was constantly buying games for it. So, with that out of the way, with the buffer of how cool this system was, I enjoy it for its crazy amount of games that end up coming out, crazy amount of ports, as to me, they are the versions of the game I would say someone should check out nowadays instead of playing the original. In a lot of cases, there are games that got excellent ports. So anyways, first up, Legend of Zelda, The Minish Cap. Great game, made by Capcom. Capcom actually made a couple Zelda games, and they were really good. This is another one. I like the fact that it was just kind of like its own random little adventure. It used the Wind Waker art style. Oddly enough, came out the same day as Resident Evil 4, which I remember buying both of them at the same time. To me, it was just, I always remember that. And they were both excellent games that anybody should check out. It has some great puzzles. Some of them are a little abstract, and they ask you to do some weird stuff sometimes. Like, you really have to think about what they're asking of you. But great Zelda game if you haven't played it, and I've noticed quite a few people have it. Now, Golden Sun: The Broken Bond is an excellent RPG. Standard RPG fare. Great story. Yeah, it's got a bunch of holes in it. You could probably sink it. But I'd still recommend checking it out, especially if you haven't played it. Its art style is really cool, and it's kind of one it's really engaging on how they set it up, even though it is a very old style RPG. And the magic system is really cool, as it's based around the 4 elements: fire, earth, wind, water. and each character is aligned with one of the elements. They are great games. It has this wonderful system where you can muck around with what little magic djinns, which are like these little spirits of each element, and you can change up people's elements, skills, abilities based off of what their alignments are. Tons of customization. Strong recommendation. Super Mario Bros. 3, or Super Mario Advance 4. Let's have the name very confusing. Good job. Great game. It's Mario 3. You know what it is. Completely remade for the Game Boy Advance. And if you played on the Wii U, or you can manage to unlock the levels, there are extra levels that take assets from all the other Mario games and throw them into levels. It's almost an entirely different game with those elements added in. They're very cool levels. If you haven't checked it out, check out Super Mario Advance 3 with the e-reader levels unlocked. It's incredible. I mean, I'm sure there's a way you can unlock it with this thing, but this thing was goofy and clunky. It worked great because I played the card game, so I had multiple uses for it, but this is one of the most bizarre things in the world, and I am definitely doing a video on it one day. Now, for my next one, I've already done a video on it, so I'm sure it comes to nobody's shock. Mega Man Battle Network number 2. If you're going to play one, I'm going to say play the second one. You're not going to get everything, but you are going to get a great Mega Man Battle Network story and understand why this series got so big. This is the one that really pushed it over the edge, that really made me into a fan of this franchise, and I loved every minute of it, and I remember beating it very, very quickly once it dropped, and I would recommend anybody check this game out. It is fantastic. Now, for the last 2 games I'm going to recommend, I'm going to make this one really easy. Pokemon Emerald. Easy recommendation. This is, in my opinion, the best out of the batch of the Game Boy Advance. Now again, me saying, oh, this is the best one. I'm not saying the other ones are bad. I would probably just go to this one over the other 2 when I'm playing on my Game Boy Advance. This one is excellent. Pokemon Emerald. Check it out. I know what it is. You guys already know what it is. Pokemon Emerald. Give it a try if you haven't already. Now, for this 20th anniversary celebration on why I love it so much with the Game Boy Advance, Fire Emblem. We never got a Fire Emblem before this time. It was a great introductory. I spent many hours playing this game. I have started this game numerous times, more times than I can even count, on how many times I actually restarted this particular Fire Emblem. Loved it to pieces. I have been a fan ever since. It is what drove me to buy the next one and the one after that. Excellent games. I'm shocked it took Nintendo so long to bring these over. When even Sega saw success with the Shining Force franchise, they never brought this over. But without the Game Boy Advance, there is no Fire Emblem. So guys, check this one out if you have not already. All of these, except for the Pokemon game, are available on the Nintendo Wii U shop. If you have a Wii U, I would strongly recommend checking them out. Now guys, these are just some of my recommendations for the Game Boy Advance. There are a ton of excellent games on here, and I know, as I was shooting this video, there were games like, I should talk about that, I should talk about that. Don't worry, that's coming in a future video at some point, and I don't know when, but I'm gonna do it. Excellent system. Great games. Even if a lot of them are ports, to me, that's what makes this system so much fun. Is they're very unique versions of games that we might not have necessarily got. Very unique system with some incredible games by Nintendo and by others. Great piece of hardware. It's been 20 years since the launch of this console, and I don't think for 1 minute I ever regretted my purchase of this console. So anyways, guys, that's it for this week's episode. Take care, have a good one, wear a mask, and get vaccinated when you can. Take care.